What is up, my loves? Today we're going to talk a little bit about erectile dysfunction and how it's just like not real. So stick around. All right, what is up? I am Justina Victoria. I am a psychosexual expert for men and couples, and I want to talk today a bit about how erectile dysfunction is not real. And I say this with so much love because I know the pain and the suffering that you guys go through when you have erectile dysfunction. It is the thing I do all day is cure erectile dysfunction with my clients. So I have witnessed years on end, hundreds of clients who are going through like the deepest pain imaginable. Because really, you're programmed to believe from birth that all of your worth and value as a man come from how well your dick, performs sexually. So of course, like if your dick's not working and you don't understand why, and you have not been able to find a solution for it, and it's gotten worse over time, yeah, like it's gonna be painful because you're gonna feel like you don't have any worth and value, that you're never gonna be able to have what you want in life, that you're just a useless garbage human being. But I'm here to tell you that it's not real or true. I know it feels like that. And this is something that I say to my clients like probably millions of times. Feels true, it's not true. Feels true, but it's not true. Your mind controls your physiology. So I want you to think about something, and this is usually one of the first things that I say to a client when they come to me and say, please fucking help me. I have erectile dysfunction and I can't do this anymore. Like, you're my last resort. I don't know what to do. Doctors say like I can never be cured. The pills aren't working. I always say to them, okay, well, what are you thinking about when you are having sex or trying to have sex? And they're like, well, like usually like whether or not I can get hard. And I'm like, okay, cool. So like, what is the thing that comes up in your mind? Like if you had to put a visual on it, like what would you be thinking in your mind? And they're like, well, like seeing my dick like not being hard. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, all right. So like when you jerk off, can you get hard? And I think pretty much every single client I've ever had has said yes to that question, right? It's like, yeah, I actually can. I'm like, okay, cool. So when you're by yourself and you're jerking off, are you thinking about soft dicks? And then they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, just, you're being weird. Of course I'm not thinking about soft dicks. And I'm like, cool. So like, why are you thinking about soft dicks when you're trying to have sex with somebody? Like, your physiology is just following whatever you're thinking about, right? If you're thinking about a soft dick, whether it's yours or someone else's, doesn't matter. That's not a turn on. So why would you be turned on? Why would you ever get hard thinking about your dick being soft or worrying that your dick is being soft? And this is just one of the most simple ways I can put this without upgrading your education around why this is happening via the nervous system. Like if you cut out all of the education and we just look at it from its most simple form, if you're thinking about something that does not turn you on, you're not going to be turned on. So if you want to experiment, if you're experiencing erectile dysfunction and you haven't been able to find a cure, you haven't been able to figure it out, the pills are inconsistent, which by the way, I have a problem with dick pills because, they're just not, they're not real. I'm sorry. They're just a placebo because they only work to the extent of how strong your narrative is. If the narrative is way over here and it's like, I'm never going to get hard again. And like, I'm a loser. And like I haven't had erection in like 5 years. And like every woman hates me and I'm going to disappoint her. And like the pills will not work. I've never seen a pill work for a client who had a narrative that was that strong. If you have like a medium narrative where you're like on board with it, but also have a little bit of hope still, you'll get inconsistent results. Sometimes the pill will work and sometimes it won't. And if you have like a little bit of erectile dysfunction here and there and you have very soft narratives around that, the pills will work. They'll work. So the pills are only effective to the extent of the strength of the narrative about the erectile dysfunction. Period. End of story. So if you want to experiment with curing your erectile dysfunction, you can start with a very, very simple exercise. And that is when you are intimate, all you're going to do is bring your focus to whatever feels good, whatever is sexy, whatever is pleasurable. And then your brain will go, oh my gosh, but what if I get soft? And you're going to shift away from that focus. You're going to shift away. You're just going to go, yes. What I like to do is go, yes, yes, yes. I like to teach my clients to say yes, 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 because the nervous system has an association to the word yes. We don't get triggered. We don't create resistance. When we go no, we create like a really mini stress response in the body, and we keep tagging something as stressful. So we have a thought about, oh my gosh, what if I can't get hard? What if, oh my God, I'm soft right now. And oh my God, what am I going to do? Yes, yes, yes. We relax the body, and then we bring the focus back to whatever feels good in that moment. Use all of your 5 senses. What feels good? With your hands. Ooh, I love the way her boobs feel. They're so warm and whatever. What you are smelling, what you are tasting, what you are hearing. You can like literally zone in on her breathing in your ear, moaning, what you're seeing with your eyes, like what looks good to you, what looks like something that's turning you on. Like use all of your 5 senses, and you can shift through them throughout the experience. But all you want to do is just keep yourself focused on what does actually make you turn on, what actually does make you hard, right? Because if you're at home and you're jerking off and you can jerk off and not have a problem, then what's going on here when you're in a sexual experience, right? You're getting too bogged down and too stressed with your worth and value because somebody else is there, because you're taking a test, right? Like to remind you, like sex is not a test. It's not a performance. That's why I don't like using the word performing, right? Because you're not performing, you're connecting, right? It's the same as eating a piece of chocolate cake. If you love eating chocolate cake, you don't eat it so that you can have worth and value. You eat the fucking chocolate cake because it's fun. It's pleasurable. There's no test afterwards. If you like started thinking like, I have to eat the chocolate cake, right? There's a right way to do that. Like what, how many times do I need to chew this? Oh my God, is somebody watching me? Somebody's testing me on this. All of the joy, all of the fulfillment, the warm belly, the warm heart, like eating the chocolate, it's gone. It's been sucked out of the experience. And then eating the chocolate cake becomes pointless, stressful, like a reflection of how you're a loser. Like it's ridiculous. So we don't want that. We want you to come back to understanding that sex is not, we want to literally peel your worth and value away from sex. Your worth and value does not come from sex. It comes from the fact that there's only one of you that's ever existed and will ever exist. You're more rare than any diamond or anything. Like that's where your worth and value come from. There is no replicating you. There's only one, and that's it. And so, we need to peel that away from like, oh, sex has to be mind-blowing and it's a test and I got to perform well. It's not a fucking test. It's like eating chocolate cake. We do it because it's fun. We do it because it's enjoyable. So experiment with this if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction. This is one of the many ways that I help my clients cure their erectile dysfunction. By the way, I have 100% success rate. So every client that I've ever worked with to completion in my work has cured their erectile dysfunction. And I'm very proud of that statistic. And, maybe you could be the next success story that I have. So try this out. This is one of the very simple ways curing erectile dysfunction. Like we have a bias. We have what's called a complexity bias. So we believe that the more complex the problem is, the more complex the solution is. But actually, it's not true. Typically, it's the most simple solution. So I start out with the most simple formula for my clients. This is one of them. It's like, okay, where are you placing your focus? If you're placing your focus on things that are not sexy, that are not a turn on for you, you're not going to be hard. That's it. I mean, it's really just that simple. So like when you're by yourself and you're jerking off and you get hard and you orgasm when you're by yourself, well, you're placing your focus on things that are sexy. You're placing your focus on things that are turning you on. So you just have to train yourself to do that when you're in a sexual experience. So I hope this was helpful. If you feel like you need a little bit more support, you can join my boys club, which goes through every single piece of wisdom that I could ever possibly give you. It's like more in depth than my one-on-ones. I teach you how to fully integrate back into your masculine energy, seduce women, decondition your sexuality, like down to its absolute essence, and then build it back up in, almost like a spiritual way. You learn tantra, you learn how to just like fuck a woman's brains out. And the final piece is my romance, right, which is all about healthy relationships, leading, directing your woman, having a fantastic marriage, on and on. So take you through every aspect of being a man and every aspect of the male heart so that you can master that and have whatever you want in your love and sex life and in your life in general. That's $69 a month. The link is below. I also still do have a one-to-one practice, and I practice here in New York City, and I have an office in Cork, Ireland. If you are Irish, which pretty much half my clientele is, welcome. So I still do that depending on my availability, which is usually pretty limited. You could shoot me an email if you want to try to get into my one-to-one, and I will see you in the next.